Hello, everyone. This is Andy Nguyen, and this is episode 3 of the Millennial podcast. And today we're going to take a different stroll. I'm going to talk to you all about how I got into starting my own business as a videographer. I grew up in Orange County. I grew up in Garden Grove of Orange County. A lot of Vietnamese, Mexicans, and Koreans in that area. So more or less a lot of Asians. I grew up being told that Asians are good at math and they have to be doctors, lawyers, what have you. And even though my parents never explicitly told me that I needed to do these things or become these things, after everyone telling me and after kind of just like broaching the idea of going to college with my parents, it was kind of inferred that I should go into a stable career path. That was fine and dandy until I picked up a camera in high school. I picked up a camera because I needed to take some pictures for some school project. I think it was a science project or something like that. And I asked one of my friends if I could borrow their camera because I didn't have one. They let me borrow a Canon EOS Rebel XT. That is the entry-level camera of the Canon DSLR series of cameras. DSLRs are those big black cameras, the big grip and the lens, and they're not really they're a step up from the point and shoots. They're what you typically consider the professional camera. So I picked it up, took some pictures with it, but I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't know that I could enjoy something so much. A little bit of backstory. I had a bit of creativity in my head. I wanted to become an author or wanted to become some kind of a painter or something like that, but I never could, communicate or put ideas onto paper. So with the camera, I was actually able to see something in my head and actually make it with the camera, just pressing a button. Of course, there's the aperture, shutter speed, and ISO and all that, the technical stuff, but my engineer or my sciencey mind liked that. So when I picked up the camera, I was like, hey, this is really fun. I started researching more about it and trying to learn a lot, as much as I could. And I asked my friend, hey, can I borrow the camera for a few more days just because I had so much fun with it? He's like, yeah, sure. I'm not really using it. So let me borrow it. And I went and researched, took more pictures, and I really fell in love with it. And I decided I need to have one for myself. This is really fun, and I don't often get something that generates that much joy. So I pulled together all my birthday money and my Chinese New Year money and asked my aunt for a little bit of help to reach that last step to be able to buy my own Canon EOS Rebel XSI. And got one, and from there I just read and practiced and practiced and read and practiced and Googled and practiced, and I just kept going and going, and I was taking pictures wherever I could. And even if my friends back then, there was no Instagram, no one was giving you likes and stuff. I was posting my pictures onto Flickr, and I didn't really care about the comments or the likes or anything like that. So I just posted them online. I showed my friends and family, and they would say, oh, that looks so nice, blah blah. Friends and family always support you no matter what. I would look at, the more I researched, I realized that, hey, there's actually a career path out here that focuses on taking pictures. But the more I read, it was very unstable. Most of the photographers would be wedding photographers, and those jobs are a lot of work, and they're only on weekends, and they take a lot out of you, and they're not as stable or as high paying as an engineer job. So being an Asian American first generation, I didn't want to let down my parents, even though they never told me that, hey, you have to become an engineer, lawyer, doctor. I didn't want to not do that and somehow kind of disappoint them. Asian adults always talk to each other and gossip about how proud they are of their kids and what career path they're taking and all that stuff. So I didn't want my mom to be embarrassed that her son was not doing one of the big careers. So even though I had a lot of passion in it, I kind of decided that it was going to be a side project for me, a side project, but maybe a business, but the whole business thing didn't really come into play. It wasn't until my English teacher believed in me that I considered even making money with it. My English teacher, Miss Hannah Jaspard from Bolsa Grande High School, she had seen me taking pictures, and she asked if I wanted to join the newspaper. It was a Matador Monthly, and she asked me if I could just take pictures so they have some images for the newspaper. And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't really think much of it, but when someone actually believed in me and trusted me to create something for them to share to the world, it really gave me a lot of confidence. And that confidence is very important. That confidence is what drove me to where I'm today. After taking pictures for her, she really liked the pictures. She actually ended up giving me my first paid job. She said, "Hey, our bakery needs some photos for the menu. Would you like to come take pictures for us?" And I was ecstatic, like, hey, I can make money taking pictures now before I'm older and super skilled and all that. So I ended up taking the pictures. I asked for some help from a friend of mine, but I did the job and she gave me a check. It was like $100 check. And I was like, oh my God, I can make money taking pictures now. So I ended up really pursuing that. I tried to take like prom photos and portraits. I did it for donations at first because I had no work to show. Pictures of flowers and pictures of bread is not gonna sell someone on, or is not gonna. So no one's gonna hire you off of a portfolio of bread and flowers. So I did some portraits for free, and they were really awkward because I'd never like taken someone out to take pictures of them. Some of my friends asked for some headshots, and I knew nothing about it. I tried it anyway, but I did this. I kept doing this, and I kept getting more experience practicing. Got maybe like $20 here, $10 here. Not much money, but it was adding up, and I was able to buy more and more gear. I was able to get a prime lens, a flash, and all important equipment to start your photography career. I ended up getting a shoot-through umbrella to use off-camera flash, triggers, the whole thing. And I was getting really serious about it. But still, when it came time to picking a major for college, I ended up doing the safe route. I really didn't want to disappoint my parents, so I decided to go to the University of California, Irvine to get a degree in civil engineering. And while pursuing that degree, I still had my camera. I think I upgraded it to something before I graduated. I just bought another used camera to save money just because I wasn't making any. And the camera was bigger and the lenses are bigger, and I would take them out to go to my club events, or after class I would go take pictures of food and stuff like that. But after a while I kind of let go of the photography. I tried to make money here and there, but I never felt like I was good enough. I always felt like the images I saw from other people were much better than mine. So why would anyone hire me? And from there, I ended up selling the camera, downgrading to something smaller just in case I wanted to pick it up again. And I didn't pick it up until the end of college when graduation photo time came up. As the graduation photos were a pretty lucrative market that I wanted to take advantage of. And I figured that I had a lot of friends in college, so hey, let's try taking pictures of them for some money. At first, of course, I started like I did before. I told them, hey, I'm trying to make it as a photographer. I'll do this for donations. Just donate whatever you're comfortable with. I knew college students didn't have that much money, so I didn't push them too much on it. So I did that for a little bit, and the jobs got bigger. I was doing groups, I was doing clubs, and I got paid like 100 here, 150 here. It wasn't much money, but it was enough for me to get my first full frame camera. And with that full frame camera, I finally felt like I had enough equipment to do wedding photography. And in wedding photography, you definitely need a portfolio of work. And I definitely didn't have one. So I did the old school way. I looked up how do you start doing wedding photography. People said you need to learn how to assist, or you need to learn how to second, and you need to do that for a few jobs, and then you move up. And then over time, you end up becoming a lead photographer for a wedding. So I did what I knew, and I went on Yelp. I searched for local photographers in the area, and I cold emailed all of them. Every single one. I think I emailed maybe 30, 40 people. A lot of them ignored me. A lot of them said no. A few asked me to pay them. I was like, I don't have any money. I'm still in college. I'm like graduated almost, but I have no money. And one individual actually accepted a coffee meetup to kind of discuss more, and that was Mimi Nguyen of Mimi Nguyen Photography. And it was my time to prove myself. Even while I was not taking a lot of pictures, I was constantly reading, practicing, knowing I was really good at the technical side, but I wasn't really good at the creative side. More on that in a second. So we got to the meetup. I brought my camera for some reason. I met her. She had her iPad out. We were talking, and then I explained my experience, what I've been doing, my degree, and why I want to get into wedding photography. I just told her something generic like, "Hey, I want to capture people's happiest days of their lives or whatever." And it was bull. I just wanted to get into the business somehow. So the big question that she asked me was, "What is your style?" I'm like, "Style? What does that mean?" All I did up until this point was I took a DSLR, so expensive equipment. I would point it at something. I would make sure the exposure is correct because I knew the technical side, and take the picture. I would import it into the computer. Then I would increase the exposure and increase the contrast, and then I would call it photography. I had no idea what she was talking about. So I explained like the style is, oh, I like to capture things as they are because it's the most natural, which is a bullshit answer. But even though she knew, I knew nothing. Something about my energy and my eagerness to learn caused her to say, yeah, let's give this a try. So I was an assistant at that point. I went with her on family portrait photo shoots. I drove out of my way to meet up with her, or she would pick me up, and I would assist her on weddings, just holding bags, holding lenses, holding lights, just kind of like doing the intern work, which is something I really value, like starting small, making connections, putting in your time, and then one day when you get the experience, you can go off on your own. So I did this for a year. I never got paid. And then I did it for another year. I still didn't get paid. And she never asked me to be her second shooter, which is what the pay part comes in. So after a while, I realized like, hey, I'm getting the experience of being here, but I wasn't really being taught. I wasn't really being groomed to be anything more than just an assistant. And I feel like that was on me. I didn't ask a lot of questions because I was afraid. I was just unsure and not confident in myself to ask any questions. After a while, I fell off of that. I went on my own for a few wedding jobs, and I would just do really small jobs, like a few hours, just me with 2 cameras, taking pictures and editing them very simply. I was trying to establish my style because after she asked me that question, I was like, man, I really don't know what that means. So I tried to like edit a little bit more, but I got in my own head. I would see her photos, my mentor's photos, and I would see everyone else's photos. I'm like, what am I doing? I can't keep up with these people. I'm getting paid like $200, $300 a wedding. I'm not getting any better. And I just felt like I wasn't doing anything with my time. So I fell off. I stopped shooting. I stopped trying to market and get more work. The only jobs I got were some kind of word of mouth. And since my skills weren't great, I was catching all these brides and grooms that were just trying to price shop. And I would push and try to like get to a higher level, but I was stuck in the bottom. I was stuck in the bottom, and it wasn't great. It was heavy work for little compensation, and I felt like I wasn't doing much. So that was it. I stopped taking pictures. I think I did one wedding a year after that. So I graduated in 2014. I was doing free work and trying to shoot little things in between, like portraits and engagement shoots in between. So I did it for 2 years. In 2016, I think I did from 2016 to now 2018, I'll say like 5 weddings by myself. I was able to build connections. I was able to make connections, and I was able to be hired on as a second shooter or an assistant with other photographers, and that was great. I got paid a little bit, but I wasn't confident in my ability to shoot weddings, and I didn't really think I could do anything bigger. So with the full frame camera and the full frame lenses and all that, it was really heavy. So I stopped taking my camera out. I stopped doing anything with it. It was just sitting in the drawers and like closet somewhere and I just let it gather dust. I got in my head again, just like I did when I was in high school, and I just kind of gave up. It wasn't until my girlfriend, our child, really started getting into food photography, so I started getting motivated to bring my own camera out and take it with us on our dates and our events. Start taking pictures. I started kind of getting the hang of it again. Just now creating, editing, publishing into the world. Creating, editing, publishing into the world. And I started feeling a little more confident. And we had a big vacation plan together to Thailand. I was like, hey, there's no point in me bringing a camera to take pictures of stuff if she already has one. We're going to take the same pictures, especially with the food. We have a food set up on a table. We're going to be doing the same thing. So I figured, what if I pick up videography? One of the main frustrations that caused me to quit photography was that everyone had access to the cameras, and everyone had access to those automatic modes and the presets. And I got in my own head because people were able to take better pictures than me with less experience, and it was just frustrating. You're not supposed to compare yourself to others, but I ended up doing it. It just happened, and I'm not too happy about it, but it happened, and it caused me to quit. I was so frustrated with my lack of ability and that I quit, and I blamed it on others. Like, hey, everyone can take pictures now. Like, why would I do it? So I figured, hey, what if I pick up videography? I can do videos of restaurants and stuff while my girlfriend takes pictures of the food, and when we go on this big trip to Thailand, maybe I can make a travel video. That sounds great. I knew that my first video wasn't going to be great, but with the discussions with me and my girlfriend, we were going to be traveling a bit, or try to travel as much as we could. So learning how to make videos could benefit us. She's getting big on social media, and she's getting a big following, and I couldn't compete with the following, and I couldn't compete with the photos. So maybe I can just help her by providing video content for her profile. So that's what I did. I picked up a video camera, in about April of 2017. And I was able to pick that camera from a connection that I met on a wedding photo job. It was one of my last wedding photo jobs. I met this guy, Alan Chen, and we hit it off, and I try to help people whenever I meet him. So I was telling him, like, hey, I know how to get some deals on some camera gear. Let me know if you ever need new gear. I'll help you out. So we got each other's numbers, and we started talking, and he was the videographer, I was the photographer. So when it came time to try to pick up a camera for video, I asked him, like, hey, can you help me pick a camera? And I just took his recommendation, the Panasonic G7, a little small micro four thirds camera, mirrorless, and I started practicing with it. I only shot 3 things with it before going to Thailand, and I ended up thinking, hey, am I going to be serious with video or not? So I thought, yes, let's do this. Let's go all in. So that camera that I mentioned, the Panasonic G7, doesn't have stabilization. So I ended up buying a gimbal. A gimbal is that little it's like a pistol grip. So it's like a pole, and then it has this gyrating thing that has 3 axes. You put the camera in there and you turn it on, and it just floats. So when you move the camera left and right, up and down, it stays in place. So it creates stable footage that looks more like a movie. I bought that even though I had only used the camera for a few weeks. I was like, we're going to Thailand. This is going to be big. My girlfriend and I have some sponsored deal or some sponsored hotel stays. I really need to put my best foot forward in my first attempt at videography to kind of lay the foundation for the rest of my videography career. At this point, I was definitely not getting paid, and the sponsor deals we had were through her for her social media prowess, her following, and all that. So I was just kind of investing all this money in the hopes that something will come out. So I got the gimbal, which was $600. The camera was $500. The gimbal was $600, and I got a low light lens too, which is another $180. So I committed over $1,000 into something I was not sure was going to even be fruitful. So we went to Thailand. I used the camera. I did everything I could. I did a lot of things wrong, but I tried and I shot everything I could, and I did the best I could. And our sponsors really liked the content. And when I came back, the videos I posted online did really well, and people were really receptive to what I made. And I was like, hey, I was able to make something. And of course, in the back of my mind, money, money, money. So I was like, oh, let's make this a business. And with less competition in this field, videography, I was kind of given more space to kind of express myself, to learn and progress. And what I didn't know when I got into it was videography is a way better, it's not a better, but it's a different way of expressing yourself. The music and the sound is something that I was missing in photography, so I wasn't drawn to it as much. The music and the sound that you can utilize in a video is akin more to dancing, which is something I did in high school. I was a break dancer, than photography in terms of expression. So there was movement, there was sound, and I really loved creating content with visuals, music, sound tied together to create an emotion. And when that all came together and that clicked in my mind, I was like, yo, this is great. Let's really get serious about this. So I grinded and I hit up my friends Alan and his crew, Dominic and John, and I asked, hey, can I assist anywhere? You know, my formula: assist, learn, progress, then one day you'll move up to where you want to go. And I was going to take this all the way. I wasn't going to give up like I did last time. So they took me on a few shoots to assist, and I learned a lot. To be on a live set, learned how to mic someone up, learned how to work with lighting, and it was a great experience. But I didn't feel like my buddies were going to give me a chance to really to join their team. I felt like their team was crowded already. They had enough people. Bringing someone new from the ground up is not in their plans. So I went off on my own. And I knew that without portfolio work, it's going to be hard. So I started vlogging with my camera. That was the whole idea with going to Thailand, to vlog it, but I never took the vlogging seriously. I took vlogging more seriously at this point when I started realizing I could make some videos. So I started vlogging, and I thought long term, where do I want to go? What do I want to do with this video stuff? So I thought to myself, I want to make videos for restaurants. I want to make videos for clients. I want to make like promotional videos, like commercial work. I wasn't too amped about the wedding scene. So I was like, all right, if I want to do that, I need to show people that I can do that. So when I did my vlogs, I would do little sequences that include the restaurants that Archel and I would go to. And I would make them like little mini like cinematic sequences or little Instagram ads like embedded in there. And then when I posted online, I would tag them. I would tag the restaurants because I knew that if they saw it, they would ask for it. And if they asked for it, I could give it to them for free, put in some goodwill. And then after that, after you give first, I could ask them, hey, if you ever want some curated content or something directed by you, something more specific, we can work together. We can work together to make that happen for you. Let me know and I'll let you know my rates. I had no rates. Like, I just needed to get my foot in the door, but I needed to be serious. Although my catalog was some sponsored videos from Thailand, I needed to keep creating work. So I was vlogging as much as I could to keep practicing. And even though the vlogs were not as professional, I was going to communicate them in a professional manner. I wasn't going to give it all for free. I would give them something for free, but at the end of the day, there needs to be compensation for decent quality work. So that's what I did over and over again. I would post vlogs that include restaurants, and I would try to make little sequences look really nice so that companies would see them. And lo and behold, one day, a company asked for a video, a restaurant asked for a video. I gave it to them. I said, if you want something else, if you want more, I'll let you know my rates. They said, sure, what are your rates? And I got to start low. I think I started with $150. And then they hired me on. I did a shoot for them. One shoot became two shoots became three. They became a repeat client. At the end, they were paying me like $500 a video. And I was swimming in it. I wasn't swimming in dough, but it was progressing much faster and much more logically. And I stayed interested in it. So I was really happy of the progression. So at this point, it's still just kind of like one-off freelance work. And I started trying to get serious. I was like, all right, if I want to make this a business, what kind of business will it be? You can do freelance work all the time, but I wanted to create something more. So that's where we are today. I'm here to create a brand that encompasses me. I am the brand, and I want to show people that you can do anything you set your mind to in this day and age. And I want to bring in the millennial experience. I grew up a certain way where everything was structured and you only had one path to follow. I ended up choosing to follow that path. I know people that didn't, and they're successful in their own right. And I want to talk to all those people that think they have no choice in regards to following their dreams. And I want to tell you, hey, you can do anything you put your mind to. It's going to take time. It's going to take some grit. It's going to take some hustle. But that's the story I just told. Like, that's a story of the hustle of trying, failing, quitting, coming back, quitting again. And then just, the path was never straight. I took side steps. I'm here shooting videos now. Back then, my dream was to take photos for a living. Now I'm doing videos and I'm able to sustain some sort of lifestyle. I still have my full-time job, but the video side of things, my video business, is making a lot more than just $100 a day. It's really growing to something special. And I didn't want to just focus on the video. I'm trying to use the video on social media to connect with people. Like I mentioned, the brand is myself, and I call this brand Millennial Up because we're all struggling to figure out ourselves. What I just told you was a story of my struggle to figure out myself as a creative in a world where I'm expected to be just an engineer, an Asian American engineer. Since I've found my voice, I want to be able to connect with people, share my story with them, so that they know that it's possible to do something similar, or it's possible to follow their path or follow their dreams. For me, it wasn't just straight up jumping in, but I am able to create something special, something significant, even if it's just on nights and weekends. And I'm really happy about that. And on this journey of creating videos, I've met so many wonderful people, some amazing entrepreneurs, and on social media with my Millennial Up group and this podcast, I'm able to connect with people on an even deeper level. And I don't have a crazy following, but I do have people coming up to me telling me like, hey, I really like that you told your story. It motivates me to do something more. And it's those interactions that make everything worth it. And yeah, that's how I ended up here. The guy you see in front of you, I'm a civil engineer licensed in the state of California, but I also create video content for small businesses. It's essentially a little small creative agency, and I do all kinds of video work, from weddings, corporate videos, social media videos. I still do photography. It's not my primary focus these days, but I've come a long way. And I would have never thought I'd end up here being on social media and trying to create this Millennial Up thing or YouTube channel and all that. But life takes you to funny places. You just got to be ready to take advantage of the opportunities that come and just do your best. When you fail, if you fail, it's okay. It's more important to make sure you get back up and keep going. But thank you for listening. This is Millennial Up, and I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you're listening. Thank you.